Success in life comes not from what you know, but from how well you can connect with others. Dale Carnegie. When it comes to relationships, mastering social skills can be the secret weapon that sets you apart. In today's world, where genuine connections are often overlooked, having the ability to communicate with confidence, charm, and authenticity is more powerful than ever. Women are naturally drawn to men who can captivate them through meaningful conversation, active listening, and a deep sense of emotional intelligence. If you're wondering what it takes to make women addicted to you, the answer lies in honing the right social skills. It's not about being someone you're not. It's about unlocking the potential within you to create lasting attraction. By understanding these key principles, you can become the kind of man who effortlessly draws women in and leaves a lasting impression. Are you ready to discover the social skills that make women addicted to you? Keep reading to unlock these secrets and elevate your interactions to the next level. Number 1. Golden rules in communication. Why listening is the game changer. It's often overlooked, but active listening is a game-changing skill that can unlock a deep connection with a woman. When you truly listen to her, not just nodding along, but genuinely tuning into her words, you're sending a powerful message. It's like saying, "I care about your thoughts, your feelings, your world." Think about that for a second. How many people do that these days? In a world filled with noise, the one who listens is rare and unforgettable. Stephen R. Covey nailed it when he said, "Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply." Imagine the difference you'll make when you listen just to understand. That alone sets you apart. Have you ever caught yourself doing most of the talking, sharing your stories, your opinions, your achievements? It's natural, especially when you're trying to make an impression. But here's the twist. True attraction often happens when you speak less and listen more. By letting her express herself, you create a space where she feels valued, understood, and most importantly, seen. How to master the art of active listening. Becoming a great listener doesn't require superhuman skills. It's all about being present. Simple, right? Yet so few people actually do it. The next time you're in a conversation with her, try this. Put your phone away, hold her gaze, and show her with your body language that you're 100% there. It's not just about hearing the words, it's about being fully engaged. But here's where the magic happens. Ask open-ended questions that invite her to share more. Instead of the usual, "That's cool," try, "What inspired you to do that?" Or, "How did that change you?" This instantly elevates the conversation from casual to meaningful. When you ask these kinds of questions, you're diving into her inner world, and trust me, women are drawn to a man who's genuinely curious about what makes them tick. It's like opening the door to a more profound connection, one that leaves her wanting more. Most guys are caught in the trap of trying to impress with words, filling the silence with their own stories. But what if the real power is in creating space for her stories? When you talk less and listen more, you send a clear message. I value you. I'm not just here to be heard. I'm here to understand. That's magnetic. The benefits you'll reap. Why bother mastering this skill? What's in it for you? First, listening builds trust. It's the foundation of any strong connection. When she sees that you genuinely care about her thoughts and feelings, she'll feel safe to open up. And without trust, there's no real attraction, no lasting connection. It's that simple. Second, you get to know who she really is, what she values, what she dreams about, what drives her. This is gold. Once you know these things, you can tailor your interactions in ways that make her feel special and understood. You'll know what makes her feel truly appreciated, and that's a game changer. And finally, here's the twist. You become mysterious. Most people are quick to fill the silence with words, especially when they're nervous. But the man who listens, who doesn't feel the need to talk just for the sake of talking, becomes intriguing. She'll start wondering, what's he thinking? Why is he so calm? That curiosity can spark a powerful attraction. As Ernest Hemingway once said, when people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. Putting it into practice. Picture this. You're on a date, and she's telling you about her trip to Italy. Her, I just got back from Italy and it was incredible. You, Italy, that sounds amazing. What did you love most about it? Her, oh, the history, the food, especially in Florence, it was magical. You, what was it about Florence that made it so magical for you? Boom. Right there, you've just shown her that you're not interested in surface-level chit-chat. You want to know what moves her, what experiences shaped her. That's the kind of conversation that sticks with her, long after the date is over. The Stoic approach, wisdom in silence. Ever heard the phrase, "We have two ears and one mouth for a reason"? It's rooted in Stoicism. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and reflection, valuing wisdom in silence over mindless chatter. Epictetus said it best, "We have two ears and one mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." When you adopt this Stoic approach, you show her that you're more than just another guy trying to impress. You're someone who understands the power of being fully present and listening without judgment. That's the kind of depth women crave. The science of attraction. Listening is a superpower. Here's the thing, there's science behind why listening works. When someone feels heard, their brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that helps create emotional connections. By being a great listener, you're literally rewiring her brain to associate you with feelings of closeness and trust. On the flip side, if you talk too much about yourself, you risk coming across as self-centered, which can be a massive turnoff. So if your goal is to spark real attraction, you'll find that listening, rather than speaking, is your superpower. In a world where everyone is vying for attention, be the one who listens. It's not just about being polite, it's about creating a lasting impression. When you listen deeply, you become the guy who gets her, the one who connects with her on a level that most people never even touch. So, the next time you're in a conversation, speak less, listen more. Ask those questions that peel back the layers and dive beneath the surface. Be curious, be present, and watch as the connection unfolds naturally. And as Ram Dass once said, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. Let that be your guiding principle in every interaction. Be the listener. That's where the magic happens. Number 2, create a mysterious silence. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a powerful tool that creates mystery, allure, and leaves someone wanting more. When used strategically in conversation, it creates a tension, making her wonder what you're thinking. Imagine this. You're in the middle of an intense conversation, and instead of rushing to respond, you take a deep breath and let the silence stretch. What's running through her mind now? She's filling the gap with her own thoughts and feelings. Suddenly, she's more invested because you've given space for her curiosity to grow. One way to harness this power is through deliberate pauses. Instead of answering immediately, let a few moments of silence linger. Not too long to make it awkward, but just enough to leave her wondering. This tactic builds anticipation and deepens the emotional intensity. It's like that moment before answering a big question. The pause makes everyone lean in, heightening the emotional charge that pulls them deeper into the conversation. Not only do you seem more thoughtful and composed, but you're also subtly steering the flow of the dialogue. You're no longer just reacting, you're controlling the pace. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to power." Silence brings you that calm, allowing you to navigate conversations with strength, maintaining control without force. One of the most attractive qualities a person can have is a sense of mystery, and silence nurtures that. When you don't reveal everything at once, it leaves her guessing, wanting to know more. In a way, it's like the allure of a great novel. The suspense of not knowing what happens next keeps people hooked. Let's say you're on a date, and she asks you about your passions or your goals. Instead of rushing to explain, take a moment to reflect. Maybe you glance away for a second as if gathering your thoughts, and then respond with something like, "You know, I've never really thought about it that way, but I guess," and let the sentence hang for a moment. That small pause builds intrigue and signals depth. Now she's thinking, what is he thinking? Why is he so calm? Now she's more curious about your thoughts because you've created an emotional rhythm that draws her in. But remember, it's not about being cold or distant. The goal is to balance curiosity with warmth, creating an emotional contrast that makes her lean toward you. Silence, when used wisely, can build connection and make you a more captivating conversationalist. It creates emotional space, deepens connections, and leaves her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Number 3. To look forward to after the story ends. Ending a conversation on a high note is like leaving someone craving for more. It's creating a moment of sweet anticipation where the excitement lingers even after the conversation is over. But what's the key? It's about ending while they're still engaged, leaving them eager to reconnect. This isn't about cutting things short. It's about being strategic, knowing when to gracefully wrap things up. Imagine a great conversation flowing effortlessly. The two of you have shared laughs, found common ground, and the energy is electric. You could keep it going, but instead, you choose to close with impact. You say, "This has been so much fun, but I've got to meet a friend. Maybe we can pick this up another time." You leave her curious, energized by the encounter, rather than drained. It's like ending a movie on a cliffhanger. You leave her wanting the next chapter. Psychologists refer to this as the peak end rule. According to this theory, we remember our past experiences primarily based on how they felt at their most intense moment, the peak, and at the end, the end. So by ending the conversation while she's fully engaged, you're more likely to be remembered fondly. It's about tapping into that mental wiring, making the end of the conversation as memorable as the best parts. But this isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. You're respecting the other person's time and emotions by not dragging things on unnecessarily. Plus, you're maintaining control over the interaction, showing that you know how to lead a conversation in a way that leaves a lasting impact. Ending on a high gives you a psychological edge. You become the person she wants to keep talking to because you never let the conversation dull out. You're like her favorite show that she can't stop watching, always leaving her eager for the next episode. Think about it. The art of leaving someone intrigued right when the energy peaks holds immense power. It's about presence, intention, and timing. Just as in life, when we learn to say goodbye at the right moment, we not only leave an impression, but create space for anticipation. She'll think about you long after the conversation ends, curious about what's to come. Number 4. Chasing technique. Have you ever noticed how we're drawn to the things that seem just out of reach? It's like the more elusive something is, the more we desire it. This is the power of the chase, a psychological phenomenon where the thrill of pursuit ignites a spark deep inside us, driving us to seek what we can't easily attain. Now imagine applying this dynamic to relationships, especially when attracting women. Understanding this innate drive for excitement, challenge, and the rush of the unknown is essential for building genuine connections. So, how can you spark this chase in a way that captivates her interest without being manipulative. The key lies in balancing your approach. Show interest, but don't always be readily available. Start the conversation. Give her a taste of your attention, then step back just enough to let her wonder, to let her mind fill with questions about you. This push-pull dynamic creates anticipation, stirring emotions, and keeping her invested. It's like kindling a fire. Too little air, and it suffocates. Too much, and it burns out. But just the right balance keeps it glowing strong. Picture this. You're texting someone you're interested in, and the conversation flows effortlessly. Things are good. But instead of constantly replying, you take a few hours to respond, not out of disinterest, but to give her the space to think about you. In those moments of silence, she might wonder, why hasn't he texted back yet? That spark of curiosity is the beginning of emotional investment. You're not playing games, you're allowing her the space to engage at her own pace. It's a delicate dance, a balance between mystery and sincerity. But let's be clear, while creating this dynamic can be incredibly effective, the line between excitement and frustration is razor thin. If you pull back too far, she might lose interest. If you're too eager, you risk coming off as overly available. Authenticity is everything. The goal here isn't to manipulate her emotions or lead her on, but rather to build a connection that's fun, spontaneous, and mutually exciting. You're fostering a relationship based on shared curiosity and genuine enjoyment, not empty mind games. So how do you keep it interesting without being impossible to pin down? One way is to keep things unpredictable, yet thoughtful. Plan an unexpected date, something that catches her by surprise, and then follow up with a thoughtful message afterward to remind her that you're genuinely interested. This isn't about being distant for the sake of it. It's about creating an emotional rhythm that feels natural, keeping things engaging without being overwhelming. Mastering this balance, the art of fueling excitement while remaining authentic, might just be your greatest asset in any relationship. By practicing patience, self-control, and emotional maturity, you naturally become more attractive. Not because you're playing by some arbitrary rules, but because you radiate confidence and depth, qualities that lead to mutual respect and lasting emotional connection. You see, it's not just about the thrill of the chase. It's about building something real, something that goes beyond momentary excitement and leads to something far more meaningful. Number 5, 3-minute rule. The 3-minute rule is a fascinating psychological concept that can transform the way you connect with others. Imagine this. You're in conversation with someone new. Maybe it's a woman you're interested in. Now, the moment she shares her name, don't let it pass by. Instead, weave it naturally into the conversation at least 3 times within the next 3 minutes. Why? Because familiarity breeds connection. It's simple, yet so powerful, rooted in both psychology and everyday wisdom. Let's picture this scenario. She tells you her name is Sarah. Instead of merely acknowledging it, you could say, "Nice to meet you, Sarah," then follow up with something like, "That's a great point, Sarah," and finally ask, "What do you think about that, Sarah?" Suddenly, magic happens. This tiny action fosters a connection. You're no longer strangers. You've laid the foundation of familiarity, making her feel seen and acknowledged without her even realizing it. Dale Carnegie once said, "A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language." By using her name, you're tapping into a powerful psychological principle known as the mere exposure effect. Repeating someone's name doesn't just make them remember you, it builds unconscious comfort and trust. And we all know trust is the glue of every meaningful relationship. But here's the thing, don't overdo it. There's a fine line between connection and discomfort. Say her name too often, and it starts to feel forced or awkward. The key is balance. Use it just enough to create that initial bond, but don't overplay your hand. Ultimately, connecting with others isn't about saying the perfect words. It's about making the other person feel understood, valued, and comfortable. And what better way to do that than by making something as personal as their name feel cherished? So the next time you meet someone new, remember, 3 minutes, 3 uses of their name, and you might just spark a connection that feels effortless, yet meaningful. Number 6, the power of choices. You know, it's almost shocking how often men make the mistake of narrowing their focus to just one woman when dating. Sure, it's normal to feel drawn to someone specific, but here's the catch. Keeping your options open can change the entire game. Why? Think about it. When you have more choices, you don't just expand your chances of finding the right partner. You become more attractive by default. Imagine this. When a woman sees that you have other options and aren't entirely focused on her, it immediately boosts your value in her eyes. Suddenly, you're more intriguing, more desirable. But why does this happen, and how can you use this to build deeper connections? Expanding your social circle is one of the most powerful ways to keep your options open and attract women naturally. By actively seeking new friendships and engaging in different social activities, you expose yourself to more potential partners. This doesn't just increase your chances of meeting someone compatible. It also shows off your social skills and your ability to connect with others. And that's something many women find irresistible. When a woman realizes you have other potential interests, it can ignite a sense of urgency and even a little healthy competition. She doesn't want to miss out. As American psychologist Robert Cialdini put it, people are more motivated by the thought of losing something than by the thought of gaining something of equal value. This principle, known as loss aversion, applies just as much in romantic relationships. If she senses that she might lose your attention to someone else, you suddenly become even more attractive. But let's be clear. This isn't about playing mind games or manipulating anyone. It's about maintaining your independence and self-respect. When you have multiple options, you're less likely to come across as needy or desperate, traits that can quickly turn potential partners away. By fostering various relationships and experiences, you position yourself as a high-value man, someone confident, self-reliant, and in control of his own life. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Having choices allows you to keep your thoughts and emotions balanced, stopping you from becoming too attached or obsessed with any one outcome. And when you're not emotionally dependent on just one person, you radiate a natural confidence. You're free to be yourself, making decisions based on what's genuinely best for you, not just what might please someone else. Women can sense that kind of energy. Confidence, without the arrogance, is one of the most attractive qualities you can display. It all starts with realizing that your value is inherent. It doesn't rely on anyone else's opinion. Number 7, the power of a subtle smile, a game changer in attraction. Let's dive into something that often gets overlooked: facial expressions. They're a massive part of your body language, conveying far more than words ever can. Honestly, they're like an unspoken language, revealing more than any words you could string together. Think about it for a moment. In a conversation, what's more telling, the words you say or the expressions on your face? Exactly. Body language transcends words, and mastering it is crucial, especially when you're interacting with someone you find attractive. Now, here's where the magic comes in: a subtle smile. Yes, just a slight curve of the lips, but it can have such a profound impact. But hold on, not just any smile. We're talking about the kind that's genuine, the kind that lights up your eyes and sends out signals of confidence, interest, and warmth. The moment you try a fake smile, it's over. Women are experts at detecting insincerity, and a forced grin reads as either nervous or disingenuous. Think about the last time someone gave you a fake smile. Didn't it feel awkward? A bit uncomfortable, right? The same applies here, so what's the secret? It's about being authentic. Find something about the moment, something about her that you genuinely appreciate, and let that be the source of your smile. Whether it's the way she talks, her energy, or even something she just said, let the smile be a natural response to that. And the best part, it doesn't need to be over the top. Just a soft, subtle lift of the corners of your mouth. That's all it takes. Now imagine this. You're at a cafe and across the room you spot a girl who catches your eye. You feel a bit nervous, but you muster up the courage to approach her. What do? Here's a thought. Skip the cheesy pickup lines, the awkward stammering, and just keep it simple. Make eye contact, hold it for a second, and then smile. A real, genuine, soft smile. That single gesture says, "I'm confident, I'm calm, and I find you interesting," all without uttering a word. Then just wait. Watch her reaction. If she smiles back, you're already on the right path. You've just broken the ice, opened the door for conversation, and communicated interest without needing to blurt out something awkward. It's almost like you've created a conversation before it's even begun. Isn't that powerful? Think about it. A smile, especially when it's real, is like a bridge that connects two people in the most subtle yet profound way. It melts away awkwardness, builds trust, and makes people feel seen and understood. In a world where everyone's often guarded, a genuine smile can be the key to unlocking authentic, meaningful communication. So next time you find yourself in a situation where you're interested in someone, give it a try. Smile. Not too big, not too small. Just enough to say, "I see you, and I'm open to what comes next." You'd be amazed at how something so simple can create an instant connection, ease tension, and leave a lasting impression. Who knew that such a small, simple gesture could carry so much weight? A smile, a real one, has the power to change the dynamic of an entire conversation before it even starts. Number 8. Choose the right topic. When you engage in conversation with a woman, choosing the right topic can make all the difference between fostering a genuine connection or derailing the interaction. Controversial subjects like politics or religion can quickly turn a pleasant exchange into a heated debate. Especially in the early stages of getting to know someone, it's best to avoid these topics. So, how do you select a topic that's not only safe, but also emotionally stimulating and engaging? One of the most effective ways to build rapport is by discussing shared interests. Whether it's hobbies, favorite travel destinations, or common passions, finding common ground can open the door to deeper, more meaningful conversations. Asking questions like, "What do you enjoy doing on weekends?" Or, "Have you traveled anywhere recently that left a lasting impression?" demonstrates genuine curiosity. This invites the other person to share a part of their life that excites them, creating a natural flow in the conversation. Maintaining an optimistic and lighthearted tone is essential to nurturing any relationship. Humor plays a significant role in making conversations enjoyable. For instance, sharing a funny story or offering a witty comment can instantly lighten the mood and make both of you feel more at ease. But it's not just about cracking jokes. It's about creating a shared atmosphere where both of you feel uplifted. Consider asking, "What always brightens your day?" Or, "Have you had any amusing or surprising experiences recently?" It's easy to slip into negative topics, especially when venting about a bad day or an unpleasant experience. However, steering the conversation toward positive elements can make a world of difference. Instead of dwelling on the negative, try redirecting the conversation with questions like, "That sounds tough, but how did you handle it?" Or, "What did you learn from that situation?" This simple reframing creates an environment where positive emotions can flourish. Interestingly, Stoic philosophy also encourages staying away from extreme emotions and maintaining calmness in interactions. It reminds us that even in difficult moments, we have control over our reactions and can guide conversations toward constructive and uplifting topics. To keep the conversation dynamic and engaging, don't just stick to safe topics. Sprinkle in some curiosity. Ask her, if you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be? Or, what's something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? These open-ended questions allow her to explore her imagination, and it's always exciting to hear someone talk about their dreams and aspirations. By focusing on positive, engaging topics that tap into shared interests, you create a space where connection can thrive. Conversations become less about exchanging words and more about building emotional bridges. Keep the conversation light, stay curious, and let the interaction flow naturally without needing to touch on controversial or divisive topics. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The only way to have a friend is to be one." When you bring your authentic, positive self into the conversation, you'll receive the same energy in return. And as we think about navigating conversations with grace, humor, and authenticity, it's important to remember that connection is not a one-time event. It's a journey. Every interaction is an opportunity to deepen that bond, to peel back another layer, and to uncover the beautiful complexity of the person in front of us. It's not about getting it perfect every time, but about showing up, being curious, and letting the conversation unfold in its own organic way. Number 9. Build familiarity and trust. Why does familiarity and trust matter so much in relationships? It's simple. When a woman feels comfortable and familiar with you, she's more likely to open up, allowing for that deep emotional connection. Think about it. How do you feel when you meet someone for the first time? There's always a certain distance, right? That space exists because trust hasn't yet been built. But once trust is established, something magical happens. The walls come down, and genuine closeness begins to form. So, how do we cultivate this trust and familiarity? It's not through flattery or grand gestures. It's through authenticity. For instance, a sincere compliment is more powerful than you might think. It's not about showering her with empty words. It's about noticing what truly makes her unique, her passion, her drive, or even her sense of humor. When she feels seen, really seen, it sparks something deeper. Remember the words of Maya Angelou, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That's the essence of familiarity. It's about how you make someone feel over time. Now consider the importance of paying attention to details. You don't need to memorize every little thing, but recalling the small stuff, her favorite coffee, that book she's obsessed with, or even the way her eyes light up when she talks about a passion, shows that you're invested. These little details weave a thread of familiarity that strengthens over time, deepening the bond between you. But let's talk about trust. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust is something that's earned through consistency, by being dependable, by keeping your word, by being emotionally stable. Think about this. Wouldn't it be incredible to know that you're the person she turns to when life gets hard? That kind of trust is built slowly but steadily, through actions, not promises. Trust and familiarity aren't about perfection, but about presence. When you're truly present in your interactions, when you listen, when you align your actions with your words, you create a space where she feels safe. That's the magic. It's not about huge, dramatic gestures. It's the small, meaningful moments that create a lasting connection. In the end, building trust and familiarity is the key to relationships that truly last. It's about creating an environment where vulnerability and intimacy can thrive. The connection that comes from this is powerful. Trust me, it's the foundation that will make everything else in the relationship flourish. Number 10, demonstrate leadership. Why is leadership such a magnetic force in attraction? It's simple. Women are naturally drawn to qualities that radiate strength, confidence, and responsibility. But what does this mean in everyday life? Leadership isn't just about taking control, it's about stepping up, inspiring others, and being the one who turns uncertainty into direction. Imagine this. You're the one planning an unforgettable date, or the one who confidently navigates challenges at work. That kind of leadership exudes reliability and charisma, and those are the traits that captivate. But wait, it's more than just making decisions. True leadership is about empowering others. Think about the leaders who inspire you. They don't just make choices, they uplift the people around them. That's where the magic happens, when you start to lead, not for control, but to inspire. And guess what? Women notice this, because leadership is deeply tied to how you make others feel. So how do you build those leadership qualities? It's about cultivating decisiveness and confidence in yourself. Yes, you'll face challenges. Yes, there will be times when things don't go your way. But every success and every failure is a stepping stone toward becoming someone who stands tall, someone who others want to follow. It's about owning your choices, embracing challenges, and constantly learning. Be the guy who seeks out opportunities to lead, whether in your career, your social circles, or in personal relationships. Leadership is something you practice every day, and by doing so, not only do you become more attractive, but you evolve into a well-rounded, grounded individual. Now here's where confidence and assertiveness come in. Confidence is that quiet power that shows you believe in yourself and your abilities. Women can feel that. Assertiveness, on the other hand, demonstrates that you're willing to take action, to make sound judgments, and to be decisive when it matters. And let's be real, that's attractive. It's not just about what you say, it's about what you do. Building confidence starts with setting personal goals and achieving them. It's about facing your fears, taking care of yourself, and becoming the best version of who you can be. Women appreciate a man who can confidently lead, but who also listens, inspires, and motivates others. Leadership isn't about dominance, it's about influence. It's about being the kind of man who, through his actions, makes others feel safe, empowered, and excited to follow his lead. Leadership is not just a title, it's a mindset. It's about stepping into your power and showing up for those around you. And guess what? That's what sets you apart. Number 11. The art of gift-giving, a thoughtful gesture that speaks volumes. Gift-giving is more than just a formality. It's a reflection of how well you understand and care for someone. When done right, it leaves a lasting mark, a subtle yet profound message that whispers, "I know you, I value you." But here's the real challenge. How do you pick a gift that truly resonates and goes beyond mere material value? How do you give a gift that touches her heart and soul? First, it starts with listening, really paying attention to her interests, passions, and dreams. Has she casually mentioned a book that shaped her perspective, or a concert she's been dying to attend? Maybe you've noticed the quiet joy in her eyes when she talks about a favorite hobby. These seemingly small details are golden clues waiting to be uncovered. When you choose a gift that aligns with her passions, it doesn't just show you care, it proves you see her. You've tuned into what lights her up, and that's where the magic happens. Imagine her surprise when she unwraps a novel by her favorite author or finds tickets to a band she adores waiting in her hands. That's more than a present, it's a thoughtful gesture, a moment that tells her, "I pay attention. I know what makes you smile." And this isn't just romantic fluff, because it shows that you've taken the time to understand her, not just on the surface, but in the details that make her unique. In the excitement of making her feel special, it's easy to fall into the trap of going too big, too soon. Lavish gifts, especially early in a relationship, can sometimes send the wrong message. They can make things feel rushed or even put pressure on the relationship. It can tip the balance, turning a heartfelt gesture into something that feels heavy, or worse, obligatory. That's where timing and thoughtfulness come into play. In the early stages, it's crucial to focus on simplicity and sincerity. A well-timed, meaningful gift is much more powerful than an extravagant one that comes too soon. As your connection deepens, then you can introduce more personal, intimate gifts when it feels right, when the relationship has built a foundation that can support them. This is where the true art of giving lies, finding the balance between thoughtful and overwhelming, between heartfelt and overdone. Ultimately, gift-giving is about making her feel seen. It's a way to say, I notice what makes you happy, and I care enough to make that part of your world. That's a gesture no expensive item can replicate. So next time you're thinking about what to give her, step back and remember this. The best gifts don't come with a price. They come with thought, intention, and heart. As you work on improving your social skills, remember that the key is authenticity. Women are drawn to men who are confident, attentive, and capable of holding meaningful conversations. By sharpening these 11 social skills that make women addicted to you, you'll create deeper connections and leave a lasting impression. But the journey doesn't stop here. Continuous self-improvement is essential to maintaining those connections and building even stronger relationships. Your growth as a man isn't about manipulation, but about cultivating qualities that naturally attract people to you. Stay curious, be a good listener, and always communicate with sincerity. Whether it's mastering the art of body language or demonstrating emotional intelligence, each skill you develop will set you apart and make women addicted to you in a genuine way. If this resonated with you, show your support by hitting the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Goddess for more life-changing insights. Share your thoughts in the comments and hit the notification bell so you never miss another amazing video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.